button in the WNYC app or on the website at WNYC.org. It's Morning Edition on WNYC. Thanks for tuning in this morning. I'm Michael Hill. It's the last day of our All the Money in Half the Time fundraiser. I'm here this morning with George Bodarky. George is the editor of our Community Partnerships Desk. George has an important update for us. Hey, George.
Hey, Michael. You know, this is the last day, as you said, of this fundraiser, but we are still considerably behind where we need to be to meet this goal. But we can do it one pledge at a time. Perhaps you've never given before. Now is the time to give. Perhaps you have already given. Well, maybe you can toss a little bit more into our jar right now to keep this radio station going strong. The drive ends tonight, no matter what. So we need you to come through right now for a radio station that you rely on day in and day out for trusted news and information and for some really wonderful entertainment. Give as generously as you can, but please do it now. Don't procrastinate. 888-376-WNYC, 888-376-9692, or at WNYC.org.
We can reach our goal, as George said, one donation at a time. That's what it takes. Our fall fundraiser, it ends today. We are way behind where we need to be to meet the goal, so your financial support right now can and will make a difference. Maybe you've been supporting political groups or particular politicians in the upcoming election. WNYC is critical to a healthy democracy and an informed electorate. As we're facing this tumultuous time and this election season, consider a donation to WNYC. Consider it a vote for a healthy democracy. Donate now, 888-376-9692, or click the donate button in the WNYC app or at WNYC.org.
There are so many great thank you gifts for that contribution. You can check them out all online at WNYC.org. One wonderful thank you gift that I have in my hands right now is a brand new calendar to celebrate 100 years of WNYC. It is a 12-month calendar, of course. Why? Because it also has 12 images drawn from our archive, so you can enjoy a piece of WNYC's history every month in 2025. I am on February 2025 right now, looking at the photo here of civil rights leader Bayard Rustin at a Harlem rally and march in support of the civil rights movement in Selma, Alabama, in March 14th, 1965. Get that calendar for a contribution of $10 a month or more right now with a call to 888-376-9692, or you can make that pledge online at WNYC.org.
The case for getting on-the-job training in how to be a person.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by the John Templeton Foundation, funding interdisciplinary research and catalyzing conversations to inspire awe and wonder. Learn more at templeton.org. And by Rubrik. When cyber attacks put businesses at risk, Rubrik provides the power to bounce back fast. More at Rubrik.com.
I'm David Brancaccio. First, the four biggest U.S.-based airlines have all reported summer into fall results now, and a theme emerges. Passengers should brace themselves for higher fares over the coming months. That's in part because airlines are offering fewer seats for sale, even as demand for year-end travel could be strong. A demand meets less supply play. Marketplace's Nova Safo is here with more.
Yep, supply and demand. There was a period over the summer, David, when airlines had too many seats on offer and not enough passengers. That led to airfares declining. The industry corrected itself. It cut back on how many seats are available for sale on domestic flights, and that's bearing fruit. Fares are up. American and Southwest yesterday both surprised with relatively cheery results. American said third quarter sales were up and it lifted its forecast for annual profits. Southwest eked out a surprise profit of $90 million. And we've already heard from United and Delta. They both reported strong revenues as well.
There's news regulators in Washington will look into the state of competition among airlines. These revenues and profits will factor in, I would imagine.
Well, certainly if you're thinking public relations, cheery earnings reports from airlines right now may not help them. And yes, the Justice and Transportation Departments are asking for public comments about consolidation and the availability and affordability of air travel. Comments can be submitted through the website regulations.gov until December 23. Now, the industry trade group Airlines for America responded to this, saying that questioning whether the timing of this federal inquiry might be politically motivated coming so close to the election, David.
Wait, there's an election? Thanks, Nova. While human skills like adaptability, leadership, and communication overwhelmingly scored as vital in a new Deloitte survey, 1 in 3 employees says they have limited or no human skills training. We get cyber training at work, but what about something a little more about dealing with people? Here's Marketplace's Elizabeth Troval.
In the survey, nearly all respondents said human skills are timeless. Nearly 90% said human skills help them get ahead. And yet, technology is where a lot of firms are investing in their employees. Deloitte's Anthony Stefan.
The future is dependent on a very clearly defined yes-and strategy. Yes, we must invest in technical skills to continue to allow our people to create differentiated opportunity in the marketplace. And yes, we need to invest in human skills.
Even though human skills have been getting more attention over the years, many organizations are holding back.
I think a lot of it is time and budget.
Claudia Magayan is a workforce development expert in Texas.
Especially when you're working for small agencies or nonprofit agencies, you have to do as much as you can with the budget you have. How do you get people out of a classroom or away from cases and stuff like that to attend a training? It has to be very calculated.
And budgets for training and development can be quite constrained, says consultant Eliyahu Lotzar with Reframed Reality.
Honestly, the bottom line problem is that HR doesn't really have a seat at the table with the big players.
He says executive decisions tend to focus on short-term necessity.
The fact that there's somebody in HR waving a flag saying, hey, we need to invest in the long run. People don't develop as fast as, this little marketplace advantage you're going to get if you implement this new software.
He says while technology is making us more productive so we can feel accomplished,
we need to have social recognition. And things are just getting much more intense.
He says in the economic times we're in today, technology can be at odds with a critical piece of workplace fulfillment, relationships. I'm Elizabeth Troval for Marketplace.
Markets S&P and NASDAQ futures are both up about 0.3%. In 2005, 4 years after the September 11th attacks, federal law directed an upgrade in the identification needed to get on an airplane. The so-called real IDs that signs at airports have been warning about for years. There's news the Transportation Department is sticking with the real ID deadline of May 7th of this next year, but not exactly. Now the deadline will be squishy. Until sometime in the year 2027, people without the enhanced ID may just get warnings and still allowed on the plane. Get a real ID before the rush or face extra hassle is the takeaway.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by C3 Generative AI. C3 Generative AI enables rapid access to secure, traceable, hallucination-free insights from enterprise systems, all while using any LLM, helping enterprises turn the invisible into the obvious. C3.ai. This is Enterprise AI. And by the Financial Times, whose pink pages fearlessly report on U.S. politics from a global perspective. There's more at FT.com. And by Amazon Business, focused on offering smart business buying solutions, leaving time to focus on growth. More at AmazonBusiness.com.